learned what an equation is. We've learned solution to equation. We've learned how to solve one-step equations through adding and subtracting. And we've learned how to solve one-step equations through multiplying and dividing. We're going to connect that together to do some of the most common formulas you see in 7th grade. And the formulas that we see in 7th grade are distance is the most popular, perimeter formula, and then converting degrees is another, like Fahrenheit to Celsius or Celsius to Fahrenheit. So the first thing you need to know is what the heck is a formula? A formula means more than one variable. So what I mean by that, there's so many formulas. So let me just think. A equals BH over 2. Anyone know that one?
Area of a triangle.
Triangle. Okay, what about this one? P equals 2L plus 2W. What's that? Perimeter. That means perimeter means 2 of the lengths plus 2 of the widths. And then another one, we'll throw an 8th grade in there. My favorite 8th grade formula is how to graph an equation of a line on a coordinate plane. Y minus y's of 1 equals m parenthesis x minus x of 1. That is a formula. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variables in that one. Area of a triangle has 1, 2, 3 variables. Perimeter formula has 1, 2, 3 formulas. So a formula is anything that is more than one variable. Perimeter is adding around the shape. We have to remember that. And we're going to be doing some evaluating because we're going to be given a formula and we're going to have to evaluate the formula for a given value. And then that just means you plug in. Evaluate just means plug it in. Okay, so the most popular for 7th grade is the distance formula. And distance formula means, well, it's right here, D equals RT. That means distance is equal to R, which is your rate. Rate means how fast, your speed. And T is time. So, I mean, it really makes sense if you think about it. The distance you travel equals how fast you travel or how long you travel, times them together. So if I went 70 miles an hour for 2 hours, I traveled 140 miles. You just multiply them together. The best thing that is super, super, super helpful is this very fancy triangle, and it's the distance triangle. So you make one big triangle, you make a T in the middle. See how I broke it into 2 sections? Just kind of 3 sections. D goes on the top. Distance is equal to RT. Do you see how they all got their own little section on this triangle? That means distance on top. See how RT are right next to each other? That means multiply. So distance is R times T. All right, I use this a lot when I am solving distance equations. So let's use that formula to figure out the following situation. If the distance you traveled is 273 miles, and the time you traveled is 9.75 hours, I need to figure out what am I looking for. What am I missing, the D, the R, or the T? R. So D is D. Yeah, so that's distance. I have the T. I'm looking for R. So let me just show you how I'm going to make a prettier triangle. I'm going to just show you how I process through this. DRT. You can have on your homework assignment like maybe one main triangle, or you can do a bunch of little triangles. So I have the D, I have the T, I'm looking for my R. So I cross out the R since it's missing. Do you see that you have D over T now? That's a quotient. It's a division problem. So it's really just 273 over 9.75. This is why you need your calculator today. And I don't have mine. Anybody punch that in?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. 28.
Just 28?
Yeah.
28 exactly?
Yeah.
So 28, that's my R. My rate is miles per hour. Think about how slow that is. I mean, that's really slow. You went 28 miles per hour for 273 miles. Man, the speed limit by my house is 30, and I have to drive like almost 2 miles to get to my road, and I feel like that's always eternity. And that's only 2 miles, having to go 30 miles an hour. 28 miles an hour for 273 miles. Someone's bored. Bored. Okay, the next one I'm moving to C, just because I'm moving to the right. 45 miles per hour, that's my rate. T is 6 hours. What am I missing? I'm missing my D. So I'm going to go ahead and make my distance triangle. I'm looking for D, so I cross out the D because it's missing. What does it mean when they're sticking together? Multiply. So I'm going to times them. 45 times 6. Oh, I'm going to use, look at me connecting it to what we did in 4B, distributive property. 240 plus 30, 280. D, now what's that label? What's the distance? Tell me. Miles. How do I know it's miles?
Because it's
Miles per hour. The rate tells us, right? The rate tells us. Yep.
270.
No.
Yeah, it is.
240 plus 30 is 270. Darn. You got that right. Okay. Moving to the next one. D is 540.75 inches. Your rate is 10.5 inches per year. What am I missing? I'm missing T. So I'm going to make my little triangle, D on top, RT. I don't have T, so I cross it off. So what do I do, multiply or divide them? Divide them. So 540.75 divided by 10.5.
51.5.
51.5, what's my units?
Hours.
Years. Rate told me. Yep, because the rate is 10.5 inches per year. So this is 51.5 years. That's what that is. That would be like equivalent to think about tree growth. Trees take forever to grow. And if I'm talking about 51 years, that seems like equivalent for how long it would take a beautiful tree to grow nice and mature. Okay, so next one, T is 4 hours. R is 70 miles per hour. And I'm making my distance triangle, D and R and T. And I'm figuring out which one am I missing. I have T, I have R, I do not have D. So I cross out D. And so now what do I do with the numbers? Yep, I multiply them. So 4 times 70, 280. What's my units? Miles, because my rate tells me what my units is. 280 miles. All right, so you're going to have a bunch. You're going to have tons of distance ones today. The reason why is because it is the most popular 7th grade formula. So you're going to have a bunch of them with distance. The other one is perimeter. Perimeter is 2 lengths, 2 widths, add them together. 2L plus 2L plus 2W. Okay, let's say we have a rectangle that has a length of 9 and a width of 11. What is the perimeter? So I'm just going to rewrite the whole formula and then plug in. You can just do the plug-in right away. I just want to show you where I'm plugging things in. So the length is 9, 9 goes here. Width is 11, 11 goes there. And then I calculate it, doing order of operations, multiply first, add last. So 2 times 9 plus 2 times 11, 18 plus 22 is what, 40. And I don't know what the units are. They were not labeled at first. Make sure that, you can put U. Make sure that in your homework today, don't put any units in. I filled out the units for you. So the length is you just put the number in that you get.
Would we do that on the test, put in the units?
No. No, because so many kids type differently. So like there'd be so many wrong answers. It would be so hard to think of all the ways you guys abbreviate your units. Here's one that's working backwards. You're going to do so much working backwards. We'll do that a lot during our geometry unit, which is quite a ways away. But working backwards is when they give you the perimeter. Because we're looking for the perimeter, that's a perimeter formula. But if they give it to you, then you work backwards. So I have 120 equals, because that's my P, the 120 goes there. And you have a length of 20, so the 20 goes to the length. 2 times the 20. What is the width? So plus 2W. I plugged in everything I knew into the perimeter formula. So 120 equals 40 plus 2W. Now we have not solved two-step equations yet. We do that tomorrow. We solve two-step equations where we scoot this away from it and then we scoot the 2 away from it. So the goal on this one is to just kind of think of it as, forget the actual term, you're not really using algebra, you're just trying to use some mental math logic. So if I want to just cover up that and think 40 plus what gives me 120? 40 plus what? 80. So I know that I really should have this whole thing to be 80, right? So then, if I move that away, 2 times what gives me 80? 40. So W should equal 40. Now I like algebra better than thinking of it like that, because algebra is nice and concrete. But my strategy there, I said, okay, I need to figure out what the heck is this. So I covered it up, and I'm like, okay, I want that to be 80, because I want 40 plus 80 to be 120. Then I said, this is going to be 80. Well, it's 2W. So 2 times what gave me 80? 40. And you'll have ones like that tomorrow on your homework assignment, but you'll have a nice algebraic way to do it, which is so much better. Okay, so I'm going to have to pause here for a second because you have something different than this. This formula I just changed. Okay, our F's and C's are flipped and you don't have a decimal. So you have to have the same equation as me, and all the F's on the bottom, you need to turn to C's. So rewrite that equation and turn all your F's to a C. Okay, so we are now going to convert degrees. This is very, very, very important. Now, we measure degrees in Fahrenheit, right? In America, we measure degrees in Fahrenheit. We are one of the few, because most countries measure degrees in Celsius. There is a common formula that is used to convert from Fahrenheit to Celsius or Celsius to Fahrenheit. Right now, we're just going to convert Fahrenheit. If we're given Celsius, let's pretend we're in Canada, they use Celsius. So if we are given Celsius, what temperature would it be like here in America? Okay, so Fahrenheit is equal to 1.8 Celsius, 1.8 C, plus 32 degrees. All right, so if I'm given that my Celsius is 12, well, let's just put a 12 where the C is. So then your degrees Fahrenheit would be 1.8 times 12 plus 32. And even though this is a calculator lesson, you still have to show nice math. I expect not just answers written down, that you are taking your time and showing some good math, or at least just the numbers. All I would need to see is this. What are you multiplying together? So 53.6 degrees Fahrenheit. If it is, that means if it's 12 degrees Celsius, it's 53.6 degrees Fahrenheit. And your homework today, it's round to the nearest tenth. Believe it or not, I had a lot of kids wondering where that is today. Just a reminder, nearest tenth is 1 decimal spot. It's not the 10th digit,